Okay, day 2 of my vlog. So I just did a weigh-in. I don't know, I kind of took a shot of it on the scale, but I was pretty much the same as yesterday. 209.4, despite the fact that I haven't even wrote in my workouts yet, but my 3 workouts yesterday kept my calories in check. This is kind of how life is, man. It just is. You know, and weight loss in particular, I don't know, for me, it's a freaking battle. It's not easy. So I can get down here to 202. Remember, that's an MMA weigh-in. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. But when I say 202, that could be 202.9. It just has to be 202. That's my rule. But anyway, so here I worked out, 3 hours, kept my calories tight, went to bed a little hungry, a little angry, a little bit of edge, the way you got to do it, the way the wrestlers do it, the way the MMA guys do it, why they're so freaking mean and tough. And so, so I'll definitely be mean and tough by the end of the week when I hit 202. So anyway, so at 209.4, little disappointing. I wish the weight came off easier. But for some reason it doesn't, and maybe it will start falling off easier because I'm keeping the calories in that, I think I was like 1750 yesterday or something for the calories. And damn, this chub's got to go somewhere. It's a combination. I mean, there's fat, it's muscle. I'm definitely swam so much for that 1.5 years. I put a lot of muscle on my back. I remember looking at a picture before, and I think anyway, I have it on my card now, but right before I was going to swim the channel, I looked at my back. I said, who the hell's back is that, man? I had never seen my back with all this muscle on. I go, oh my God, I look like a little mini Hulk. Anyway, hopefully that muscle's coming off. So, and this is my thing too, right? So yeah, you could say, well, if it's muscle, Bill, and because my waist is pretty tight and everything, it doesn't matter if it's fat or muscle. It really doesn't. And there's definitely fat still there. And but it doesn't matter because you're carrying that around. I would be carrying 20 pounds around, and as I'm doing a 160-mile run or 135-mile that I have coming up, pulling a sled in the snow. Then I have 2 mountain climbs, and you're going against gravity, and you need to be, people aren't out there who are 200 pounds, and even if it's all muscle 200 plus pounds, they're just not. They're out there, but they're not the top guys. They're usually, they're kind of barely making it usually because you're dragging all that extra weight around. It's not a sport that's made for having extra weight. And I'll tell you what, one of the stats I heard was for a 10K, every pound you lose, you're a minute faster. And somebody told me that, and for me, I believe it. I believe that if I go down from 209 to 20, if I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to pick 10 pounds up on a 10K. Now, I've also read where they say it's a minute for your marathon, so if you lost 10 pounds, it'd be 10 pounds off your 10 minutes off your marathon speed. I think that's a little light. I just do. I think that's a little light. I think this 10, for me, I think it's closer to that. So this is like, either way though, it's like gold. I got to get this crap off. I got to get this weight down, and I'm going to battle it like whatever it takes. Like I said, I get, the water weight seems to come on. I push it at the end. This water weight comes on because I think my body's like freaking out because Bradley's not going to stop. He's going to do whatever it takes. Let's try and break him. Let's keep this water weight on there. Anyway, so I got my 209.4, and now I got to go do an hour run. And I'll start shedding that water because I haven't eaten yet. I'm going to go have some coffee. I just have a cold coffee because that helps burn calories. No food again. I'm getting out the door a little earlier today. I'm normally. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my morning routine as I'm having a little. I don't make coffee. I just drink the cold stuff. But my morning routine to keep my calorie count down is I have a cup of coffee and I'll drink 3.5 glasses of water, and then I'm going out for my run. But I wanted to talk to you first before I head out because I think your morning routine is like super, super important it puts you in the mode for the day. So first thing in the morning is, as soon as I get up, and I learned this from Bob Proctor, one of the guys on The Secret, and you gotta put your brain in a, you're kind of in this, I guess it's called a beta state, but you're kind of out of it still first thing in the morning. So your subconscious mind is super receptive to whatever you put in there. So what I did is I watch 1/2 hour of videos on abundance, on making money. My goal is to be a multi-millionaire, to be famous, to have a big platform, to inspire millions of people, give tons of value, and make millions of dollars because you're given that value, just like what Tony Robbins does. I've been a multi-millionaire in the past. I was a self-made millionaire by the time I was 28 years old. By the time I was 40 years old, I was worth $5 million. By the time I was 45 years old, I was bankrupt. I made my money in the video industry. I had started when I was 23 years old with credit cards to open my first store. I was unstoppable. I always believed there was always a solution until I was 45 and the whole video industry basically collapsed. I was one of the first guys to go because I was still expanding. I was owning real estate. The building as I was in, it was a $10 million a year chain we were doing. We're grossing 10 million. And when I went under, because everything was hinged on the video business, and it went down really, really fast, and I went bankrupt really fast. So I was like one of the first guys to go out. But what I learned at that time, what I did though, because I had a newer marriage, the marriage came to an end. It was just the bankruptcy was too much stress on the marriage. It came to an end, and I lost everything pretty much. It felt like I lost everything. And I had, a couple nice cars, I was driving at, towards the peak, a Corvette, an Escalade, and everything went, it all went, I got, my marriage ended right around the same time. It was devastating. My dad used to call me nightly, like doing a suicide check, to make sure. That's what he told me later. Because I'd call you just to make sure you're still alive. Thanks, Padre. But it was devastating. I remember in that time I was in so much pain. People were jumping out of the bushes at night. I remember this, and handing me a subpoena, on this bankruptcy. It was a $10 million company. It hurt a lot of people by going bankrupt. Landlords mostly. You're like, when I went out, I had 13 stores. I own, 5 of them myself that, hurt me the most probably because I had no rent coming in from my own stores. And during that time though, I swore off money, man. I said I was in so much pain from the bankruptcy going on, the divorce going on at the same time. And I was in so much pain that I swore money off. I said, man, if money causes you this much pain, I don't want money ever again. I don't need it, right? Boy, never put that in your subconscious mind, man. And you're in a traumatic state, And I put that in there. And my low, where I started thinking maybe I wanted money again, was I was living in a guy's like mother-in-law unit, a few towns down. And I'm thinking like, oh, man, this ain't that great. This ain't that great. And I'm working a job, right? I'm working as our family business, but it's still a job. I got to work, I got to work where I had total freedom before. I had freedom. I could do whatever I wanted. Now I'm working a job, an 8 to 5 and commuting and all this. And I just like, wow, so that started it. And I remember my sister about 5 years ago or 6 years ago was listening to a lot of videos, and she was listening to like Abraham Hicks, which is really deep. And so I started listening to, some of these videos my sister was listening to. And I learned a lot about like the subconscious mind during this time. I was, really, Abraham Hicks is really spiritual. I was learning a lot about the subconscious mind and how much control it has over you. And I had, basically just totally traumatized my subconscious mind. And it just like, money is evil. It causes pain. It causes this. I don't know if I actually thought it was evil, but I knew that it caused me a lot of pain. And so I really realized that I had to fix my subconscious mind. The more I started listening to these videos, and the more I started getting healthier and healthier, and trying to get my confidence back. I mean, that first couple years, I remember after I went bankrupt, I couldn't look people in the eyes, man. Here I'd been, I spoke at a convention where the whole audience was quiet because they wanted to hear what I would say just a few years earlier, because I was one of the lead independents in the country. We had, you know, our when we were at a 10 store chain, we won Retailer of the Year. We were doing $1 million a store, which is basically have about 7 checkouts, you know, running 1,000 people through there in a 4-hour period. I remember one of these super Safeways, one of the super big stores, they were telling Bill, we don't have that many coming through our big giant store during that time. And we were just hammering them through. We were so busy. That was at our peak. And so people would listen to me when I talked, you know? And then it got to where, you know, then you go bankrupt. And I couldn't even look people in the eyes. I'd walk around town and I'd be looking at the ground, man. I would be looking at the ground. And so so what happened was I started getting my confidence back, though. I kept listening to those videos, and I'm doing this extreme endurance. You know, I'm going out there, I know, you know, I mean, within 6 months, I'd run my first 50-mile run. I mean, I was reaching for this stuff to get confidence by doing this extreme endurance. But it wasn't, you know, as of about 3 years ago, I got to the max you could do in extreme endurance and work a full-time job. You know, I was working, you know, you're working in commuting and working a 40-hour week and commuting an hour and a half each way and sitting in traffic. And I train in the morning, and, you know, just when I got up to where I'm trying to swim the English Channel, you know, which is one of the world's toughest swims, you know, the Arrowhead 135, which is in northern Minnesota. You're pulling a 40-pound sled with your survival gear, and you're, you know, and you're out there in the middle of winter where it was minus 48 degrees, and you're trying to climb Mount Denali, the world's coldest mountain. Well, and it's, yeah, and deadliest mountain, you know, deadliest and coldest, and you're trying to do all these things and work more than full, you know, work full time, but commuting, you know, because I need to be up where I could train. And, you know, and you're trying to figure out how to eventually get your own business going. That's what I was starting to feeling better, trying to figure out how I can get a business going. And so the main thing I learned, I think, during this time was the thing I had to fix was my mind. I had to fix my mind. And so I started like working on like literally like, because it all starts with the mind. You know, I had to brainwash myself. When I was 23 years old and I opened my first video store, credit cards. Self-made millionaire by the time I was 28. Started with credit cards at 23 years old. I had cojones. I had fucking cojones back then. But when I was, and by 40, I was worth 5 million. By the time I was 45, I was bankrupt, right? I had cojones. And then I became a coward, like the opposite. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, as of about 3 months ago, I saved up enough money, you know, in my 401ks, basically, I had a couple of them, and I saved up enough money to last like 2 years. I gave my notice. I gave my notice because I knew what I was doing wasn't working. And I was put on this earth, literally, I know it, to inspire people, to inspire people. That's why I was put on this earth. And I'm not talking about, you know, a few people. I'm talking about millions of people. That's what I'm meant to do. I know my dad said, Bill, you were given the gift of gab. If I was given the gift of gab and I can do this extreme endurance, I'm supposed to inspire people. By, you know, that gives me a platform. You know, if I can do this stuff, I'm going to inspire people to go out and go after their dreams. One thing I learned by being around the corporate world for the last 10 years is, I don't know, they don't look that happy, man. They're out there, you know, people are working, you know, downtown San Francisco, you know, grinding out, you know, looking at their 401ks. They don't look that happy, you know, they don't look that happy. And they're just waiting, you know, they're working hard, but they're, you know, they're working for somebody else. And then I'd go up to Alaska, you know, and I'd go up on Mount Denali with these, or even when I was training on Mount Shasta and people are living in their, and the guides, the joke is when it's climbing season, man, there's 3,000 in the town and 3,000 in the woods because the guides don't even have enough money
they don't have enough money to, they don't own anything. They own a car, and they almost all live in their cars or some sort of a van or some sort of a camper or something. But they look happy. They're freaking happy. They're happy. You know, they don't know what they're going to do, you know, when they're older. That's their one thing. They're not sure, but they're living for the moment and they're happy. So I don't know. I just realized, like, I'm supposed to inspire people. I can't get any higher than I am. I got a lot of press when I was making all my events. You know, set a world record by going 7 times across the Grand Canyon. You know, biked across America in 16 days in Ram. You know, swam 20 miles in the English Channel. Never made it to the other side, but swam 20 miles. And you know, when you make things, you can get a big platform. I can get press. I had 2 producers from Hollywood come to me, talk to me about reality shows. But as soon as I stopped not making them, it dried up. I mean, even though I'm out there, I'm up on Denali, I get frostbite right on my freaking thumb, my fingers. I mean, everything's a good story. When I don't make it, you almost got to kill me, right? You almost got to kill me. It's a hell of a story. But you know what? Nobody wants to hear. They don't want to hear from you unless you get your ass beat, you know, and you try 3 times, 6 times to run Arrowhead, and I've had 5 times at the English Channel. You know when they want to hear from you? When you finally make it. That's when they want to hear from you, is when you finally make it. So that's why I had to quit. Bill Rogers said when he used to win, he won, I don't know, he won the Boston Marathon like 3 or 4 times in a row. And he said, I will never lose to somebody with a full-time job. And I used to laugh. I used to wonder why. And now I know why. Because those guys train a ton. To be elite, to be super, you got to train a ton. Not only do you got to train a ton, you got to rest. You got to be able to rest. That was the thing. I would still get my training in, right? Here I'm working this job, doing this commuting. I would get my training in, whatever it took, right? But I was exhausted all the time, exhausted. And eventually, if the fatigue starts going down and you can't get your training in and you're not doing it right, and you can't do enough because you're working full time. So the 2 big things was I started working on my mind. My sister, you know, like I said, about 5 years ago, she was listening to a lot of videos, a lot of self-help videos and spiritual videos. And I started listening to a lot of videos too. And I realized I needed to reprogram my mind. I needed to get back to that fearless 23-year-old who didn't worry about failure at all. Never worried about failure. Always figured there would be a solution. Always. Always, always, always. Whatever would happen, you know, when the economy dropped and I had to move in. I was married at the time in my mother-in-law's house for, you know, 1.5 years or something like that when the business was really bad. But I always knew there would be, you know, that we'd come out of it. There'd be a solution. But then when I went bankrupt, it was a different story. And that's why I started working on my mind and I started listening to these videos. I realized that your subconscious mind, I really believe it's like 97% of the people are not following their dreams, not following their goals. They have a ton of fear in their mind. And, you know, the news, it's just all horrible, man. Everything's horrible, right? When you listen to the news, it's one negative story after another, after another, after a murder, blah, 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 blah. You can't even keep up with it. And so I started working on reprogramming my mind, right? You know, that I had to be abundant. And yeah, I know it's not in right now. I liked being a multimillionaire. I liked it. The 3% that are millionaires that are, I don't want to even say they're all millionaires, but at least they're chasing their dreams, like the mountain climbers, the rock climbers. They're in that 3%. They don't care about the 401k. Maybe they do, but they're still doing their dream anyway, and they're going to figure it out. And somehow they're gonna make it till they croak with something in their pocket and get fed. We're in like the richest country in the world, and so most of it was an illusion. It's an illusion in your mind that we're good if we don't save up on our 401k, and all this terrible stuff's gonna happen to us if we don't have money, you know. And so basically, like I said, I want to get back on track here. But I reprogrammed myself with this, started listening to these videos, and I've been listening to them for years now. I mean, I'm talking years. I worked with a hypnotist to work on my mind. to work on my mind. I was working with her. I can't remember how many times a week I was working with her to go, Bill, people don't do this. They normally do a little bit. And I go, well, I got a lot wrong with me, so let's do it. And then on top of that, I started realizing that I need to reprogram my mind with these videos. And there's a lot of things on YouTube. Like right now, I'm listening to the abundance ones on money because I really got to get that straightened out. And so I'm watching these videos of people in, fancy sports cars and fancy music, and they're sitting on the beach and they're looking at the sunset and they're doing all this. And it's okay to have money. It's okay to want to be rich. It's okay to want to be famous. Because I'll tell you what, yeah, I wouldn't want to be famous to just be famous, but I want a big platform. I want to help those people in downtown San Francisco, those people in oh my God, in London, when I swim the English Channel, I went on the Channel, I guess it's called the Channel, the subway there, and they really looked bad on their way to work, really bad. I thought, wow, we don't even look that bad in San Francisco. Those people really look beat to crap. They must really, really live and breathe their work. And you get to 60, they're going to get to their retirement, and you don't even know how to live. You're out of practice of how to live. You only know how to work and work a job, not even for yourself. So anyway, reprogrammed my mind, worked on it hard, and as of 2 months ago, I gave my notice. I said, I'm quitting, and gave my notice. It was the best I felt since I was 23 years old, opening those video stores with credit cards. I looked at my bank accounts, my 401ks, because I made decent money. I'm a pretty damn good salesman, and I had enough to last 2 years. I said, I got enough money to last 2 years, man. Fuck, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out in 2 years. I got to figure it out. I got these events. I'm supposed to do them, so I got to spend a lot of money on these events, and I got the gift of gab. Just ask my padre. I got the gift of gab. So I'm supposed to inspire people. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I walk the talk. I'm out there. I'm showing people. If I just got done with this quadruple Badwater. If I can do a quadruple Badwater in Death Valley, if I can be out there and go 21 days, 14 to 16 hours a day, when I'm in Death Valley at temperatures of 110 to 120 degrees, if I can go up Mount Whitney 2 times in a row, if I can do all this and be out there 21 days, 2 hours, you can go after your dreams. You can go after dreams. You can go after your thing. You don't have to sit in this company, rotting away till you're 65 years old, till you're going to get this retirement that you haven't practiced enough. You haven't practiced enough how to be free, how to enjoy it. Some people do enjoy it. Some people, after they die, if their whole life is around their work, they live 6 months and have a heart attack and die. So anyway, what I was just doing is I'm working on my mind. And I'm letting myself know it's okay. It's okay to want to be a multimillionaire. It's okay to want to be famous, so you have a big platform to inspire people. And that's what I'm going to do. You watch. I'm going to have millions of YouTube subscribers, millions. I'm at, 1,000. I think I'm almost at like 1,300, but I'm going to be millions. And you watch me too. You know what? They say, once you're a millionaire, it's easy to do again, right? It's easy. Well, it's not easy when you swear it off, right? It's not easy. It's very, very difficult when you swear it off. But now I'm getting my mind straight again. Anything's possible, man. You know what? I'm watching these videos on these billionaire guys and hundreds of millionaires. There's all kinds of stuff on YouTube that lets you know. The biggest thing I did in the video business about abundance was I would have this, I had a little store, and I would meet people with the next size store up, right? I'd meet people with the next size store up. Like a chain of, when I had one store, I'd meet somebody with 5 stores. I go, wow, that guy's no smarter than me. I could do whatever he's doing. And then if I got when I met, got to 5 stores, I meet somebody with 10. And then I meet somebody with 20, We only made it to like 14 stores, but ours were big stores and high volume. Some of the highest volume in the whole country. And, but these guys would, I realized they're just like me. There's no difference. They're no different than me. They have the same type of problems I have. They're just doing things on a bigger scale. They just got bigger cojones. They got guts. they're willing to push the envelope. They're willing to go big. They don't play it safe. They keep moving. And so that's what, you know, and that's what I learned. And so by watching these guys on YouTube, I'm watching guys running around in jets, and I'm looking at them, I go, they're no different than me. They're no different. They just have the mindset that and they'll tell you exactly how they made it. They'll tell you what they did, and it's usually that they just had the guts to go for it. You got to have the guts to fucking go for it. I couldn't sit down there working 40 hours a week, playing it safe, and go any higher than I was. I tried for 3 years. I couldn't make the big events. I couldn't make them. I was too tired. I just couldn't do the amount of training. I couldn't go out. Now, so what I did when I did this Death Valley run, right? I went out there for 2 weeks because I already had left my job. And I went out for 2 weeks, and I went down to the desert, down to Laughlin, Nevada. My PR manager works down there. I mean, lives down there. She works down there because she works for me now. And she lives down there. And she said, Bill, you know, you want to train for Death Valley? Come down here. It's really hot. I remember I was down there. It was 128 degrees in Death Valley. You know, so that's, and I made the quadruple Badwater because I was able to go down there, mostly test the shoes and socks combos that I was going to wear, because what has killed me when I've been in the heat is my feet, you know. So getting tons of blisters, stuff like that. So anyway, the bottom line is my morning routine is I get up and I'm brainwashing my head that I can be a multi-millionaire, that there's nothing these guys got that I don't have, and I'm going to do it again. I'm 57, although I tell myself every day in the mirror that I'm 30, so I have the mindset of a 30-year-old, but I'm going to become a multi-millionaire again. I've cashed in everything I got. I live in this little tiny apartment with my little dog. I don't know if you saw him walk by. He's the best. And I am like going for it. I'm going for it. I got enough money to last 2 years, and every time I add another event, you know, these events are anything from 5,000 to 10,000. I think that dang thing in the desert cost me probably like 16,000, 17,000, the quadruple Badwater, because it was so long, and yet I had some crew out there, and it just was an expensive event. But anyway, but it's worth it. I got it. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do these crazy events and motivate people. But what I'm doing for my morning routine is that I have to keep brainwashing my head that I can be a multi-millionaire, that I can be a multi-millionaire, that I can be a multi-millionaire. It's okay. You don't need to feel guilty about it. You don't need to feel guilty about it. You want to be famous, be famous. Be famous. Don't worry about it. If you go out, you want a platform. You want to inspire millions of people. That's why I was put on this earth, to inspire millions of people. You can't care what people say, what people think. You know, just I want to be a multi-millionaire. And the cool thing is about you guys watching me, these other guys already are multi-millionaires who are trying to be multi-millionaires. You're going to get to watch me.
Show you what else I do for my morning routine. So on my mirror here, and I learned this from Bob Proctor, and then I also there's a new guy on YouTube who I really like, and his name's Jake Doozy, I believe. And he talked about these cards. Bob Proctor first said it, and then he said it. But they carry their card around with what they're, you know, it's basically what they're trying to do. It's like a little thing about what they're trying to accomplish in life. And, you know, so I go, dang, I got to do that. You know what I mean? Because I already read my goals and affirmations, but I need to do the card thing. Now I'm walking around because I'm pro now and I'm full-time training. And so I just have shorts on most of the day, so it doesn't work too good to walk around with a card in my shorts. I tend to lose it. So I got it on my bathroom mirror, and I got it on in my car. But anyway, this is what it says. It says, I am so happy and grateful that I am the world's greatest extreme endurance athlete who motivates millions of people and makes millions of dollars.
I'm a guy starting with just enough money in the bank, like I said, to last a couple years. You know, probably now I'm down about a year and 9 months. I got to go for it. I got to just keep doing it. I can't afford to miss these events. I got to get the platform. I got to get back on the news. I got to get the big amount of followers, you know, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of them. I got to get up these guys. These guys are who are multi-millionaires. They got millions of followers. And so that's where I'm going, that direction. Gonna have Hollywood will be back calling again. They're gonna be calling. I go, who is this Bradley guy, man? He's got cojones. He's got cojones. He's not afraid to take on any events. Money's not gonna stop me. Age isn't gonna stop me. Whatever the event, the fear of death is not gonna stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm just gonna keep pushing, and I wanna give you guys the courage to go after your goals and dreams, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I do my morning routine. That's why I do all this stuff I'm gonna do. So anyway, this was a little pep talk because I'm at the video of my vlog. Day two, I just wanted to tell you who I am. I'm a guy with a big dream and a big heart, and I'm not, and big cojones again. Thank God I got the cojones back, and I'm going for it, and you're gonna get to follow me. Finishing off my 1 hour run walk today. Again, it's I run a mile, walk a mile, run a mile, walk a mile. Weak today. I won't kid you, I'm weak. I haven't eaten yet again today. I cut it off pretty early yesterday. Weak, but I got the workout in. I wasn't way off my times. The key is for me is I got to get the weight down. I got to get the weight down. I got to get the weight down. I don't care about running 2 or 3 or 5 minutes faster for this hour. I want the weight down because for my long-term goal, which isn't that long-term, which is Tuscobia and Arrowhead runs, about 290 miles in the snow pulling a sled between the two of them. I gotta be skinny, I gotta be lean. So that's what I'm shooting for, and I'm willing to give up performance to get down weight right now. Just finished up my yoga class. I'm telling you, I love that damn yoga, man. If you can't tell, I'm hitting this thing for Arrowhead and Tuscobia, these two big runs. Again, Tuscobia is 160 miles in northern Wisconsin, and Arrowhead is 135 miles in Minnesota. I'll be doing those back to back, like a month apart, at the end of December and at the end of January. So I'm hitting it from every angle though. I mean, the two big angles how I'm gonna pick up a lot of speed is getting my weight down. And look, I just wanna show you behind me. See that where it says 185? That's my goal weight. See, 185, I look in the fridge. I don't have anything worth of crap in the fridge. Trust me, there's nothing bad in there. There's nothing really that good either. There's just nothing. 185 though. Keep putting it in my head. Keep putting it in my head. Keep putting it in my head. But I'm hitting it. So I'm getting my weight down. That's key. Key. That's the number one thing I'm shooting for, is getting my weight down. Second thing, getting more flexible. Get a longer stride. Get faster. Get that rate down that I did 20 minutes a mile last year for 30 hours at Arrowhead, down to where, get closer to 15. Even 18 would save me a bunch of time. But if I can get closer to 15, that would be the bomb. So that's what I'm shooting for. Lighter, longer stride, faster. More room for error in those races. And I'm telling you, I'm like stretching. I'm stretching like yogaing. My trainer's working with me on stretching. My weight trainer normally, but now we're working on stretching. This is 6 to 7 days a week. 6 to 7 days a week. You're gonna be calling me Gumby! Gumby soon! I'm gonna be so stretchy. Anyway, and if you don't know what Gumby is, Google it. There's the fancy food log. 1,710 calories. You know what that means. Another X. Let me show you the X. It's my favorite part of the whole day. Another X. Wait, let's put some light on this. The X! The power of the X. And I marked this with like a Sharpie that's like, this ain't an erasable one because I'm like so pumped up every time I make an X. You can see where the power of this, when you start getting the power of the chain, as our favorite comedian says, power of the chain, power of the chain. Look at that, man. You think I'm gonna give up easy when I got the power of the chain going? Anyway, looking forward to tomorrow, doing it again, 1,800 or less calories, and then I got a binge day once a week.
Binge day once a week. I can go over however much I want.
It's Furley's turn. Furley, you like the park? Furley, you like the park? Furley likes the park. Furley's turn at the park, and then I'm going to sneak in one last 2-mile power walk before it gets totally dark. But right now it's Furley's turn, and he loves his turn. You see why Furley loves this park. Look how beautiful it is. It's freaking awesome. It's his favorite place to go. It's the park. He loves the little squirrels. They don't love him as much. Whew. Last workout of the day. 2 miles. I'm averaging right around 15 minutes a mile pace. That's what I want to hold. I want to get that locked in. I'm big about muscle memory, getting that held in there. So when you get muscle memory, like you don't have to focus on it. You just automatically go to this 15-minute pace. That's what I got to get. When you relax, you're going 15 minutes. I got to work that hard to get that muscle memory. So every time I get a chance, I'm going to be trying to go 15-minute per mile pace.